Hello guys, I am Samarpan Dasgupta back again with new tutorial of this series. In this video we are going to learn about function and methods and its properties and its different kind of actions. So without wasting any time, let's switch to the screen and let's start the video. In the last video we saw that we work with different kind of data type and different built-in data structure we also created here. Now in this video it is not required as of now. Now in this video we talked about the function and methods. So let's about to know what is functions. Okay, what we call function and what we call the method. So when we called in that way, just like fetch website data, suppose this is an example, in that case we can call it a function. Okay, and if we declare that under a method, under a class, it is called method. Okay, that's the difference, major difference, but there is many more difference here. So in the function there is also a return type is present. That's just like what value function it should be returned. So if there is no return type is specified, the default return type is dynamic, and if you don't want to return anything from that function, you have to write void. Okay, and if you want to return something from the function, you have to write the specific data type. Just like if I want to return list of string, so I write here, so and it is showing that there is nothing is written, and when something is not written from here, it will be written null. So if we just return here in that way, and we want to specify the type of the list and just like A, B and more on, so we can specify in that way. So in that return type of the function. Okay, for the function and the method, there is the major difference that I saw at the first of the video. Other than I show the example in the method, that will be same applicable for the function as well. Okay, now in the function there is different parameter we can expect. The first thing is the default parameter or the named parameter, just like that way, string URL. So it is called the named parameter. After that there is called one thing, this is optional named parameter. We can declare it as well in that way. Okay, now it is showing error because for the named parameter assigning a default value is not required, but for the functional or method parameters, except the only named parameters, if you want to use other parameters, just like it is optional named parameter, we have to specify a value. So we have to specify a default value. So for that optional named parameter, I assign a default value of empty. So for as per the use cases, you can use the default value of it. In that way you can declare the optional named parameter, and we can use another type of parameter that is present especially in the Flutter. This is the optional parameter, but it is we can write in that way, just like integer number. Okay, and here you also have to provide default value, and here is a catch. In the optional named parameter you can show that you have to use the default value, otherwise that will be giving you error. But in that kind of parameters, you can either use the default value, otherwise you have to use the required keyword. So if you want to use the required keyword, you don't have to specify the default value here. Okay, so that's the benefit of it. The main difference between the default value and the required keyword is that if you default here use the default value, there is no strict restriction that you have to pass that variable value. But if you want to use that required keyword, you must specify the specify the parameter when you calling that method. Okay, so let's call the method and let's see what it is done. So I make a text widget here, I make a string interpolation, and under the string interpolation I just call that method name. Let's change the method name because that method name is not related to that content. So get string collection, that will be very much usable. So here I call the method, and I called because the error is coming because we have to first give a URL string here. So I just give just like https and xyz.com for as of now, and as you can see the error is coming because we here use required. So if I remove it required and give a default value, then that error is gone. But if we remove that default value from here and give it required, the error is come because we have to specify that when we call the method from here. Okay, so one more case is here. So okay, one more thing, as we use the single quote at the outside, we can't use the single quote inside as well. We have to use a different type of code, otherwise that will be considered as the close of it. Okay, then now it is showing that now is required because we used that parameter as a required parameters. But for using required optional parameter, what we have to do, we can't just write the value as in that way. Okay, we have to write the value with that parameter name. So if you come from the JavaScript or other language background, you can see that kind of things. So when you use optional required parameters, you can do you have to specify the parameter name, then it's the parameter value you want to pass. But for the optional named parameter, just like in that way, you don't have to specify the parameter name, you have to just pass the value. Okay, so that's the way you can pass the parameter in methods as well as in the functions. Now let's here as a catch, it's not mandatory to use data type, especially hard coded. If you not use any data type, it will be dynamic, by the way. And in the last video I talked about the data types and various type of built-in data structure. I want to forget one thing, it is not necessary to include the data types hard coded. If you don't know what will be the data type of the variable, even if you don't want to specify, you can use var, and you can use here just like unknown, just like a variable name. Okay, and if you hover it, you can see the value will be dynamic. So instead of the var, you can use the dynamic keyword as well. Okay, so in that way you can declare the variable if you don't know about the variable data type. Same things applicable here as well. If you don't know about the data type, you can use dynamic or var, you can use in that way as well. Okay, in that way you can call the method as well as the function. Okay, and one more thing, here's the catch. In one of the previous video of that series, I told that init is acts like a constructor, but if you coming from the different language background, you can see that constructor is added with a function that will be accept some kind of parameter. Okay, but here in the init state, that the stateful widget main screen not accepting any kind of parameters. So for accepting parameters, you have, how can you specify the parameters? You have to specify the parameters here. Okay, but here there is some rules for lighting that. So just like I want to accept a string through that class constructor, so what we have to do, we have to write final string. Now you can see when we declare in that way, it is showing the error. I will tell you about different keyword of final, constant. So if we want to take value from that constructor of that parameters, what we have to do, we have to write in that way, this dot given, and as I said you here with that curly braces, that in the curly braces, when you write optional required optional parameter, you either have to give the default value of it, and the default value will be string, because here we specify string. Either you have to give the default value of it, and if you don't want to give the default value of it in the optional required optional parameter, you have to use the required parameter to make it optional required. Okay, and as you can see in the main dot dot, the error is arrived, because in the main dot dot, if you go here, it is saying that the named parameter given is required, because we required it there. So I write here in that way, Samarkand Das Gupta. Okay, now there is a main question is arrived there, when we accept that parameter through the constructor of the class. But how can we accept that? Because in the Flutter you can see that the constructor is accepting parameters in a classes, in its subclasses, having the method to work with the constructor and other things as well. So how can we access that parameter that is accepted by the by the constructor. It's very easy. When you in the stateful widget, when your constructor accept parameter, you can write in that way. Just like here, I want to add text to this, so I just copy it and I just want to paste it here. And if we want to add if we want to access that, I have to copy the variable name, and if we write in that way, actually that will not work. So how can we accept the constructor parameters? We have to write widget dot the variable name. So if you write widget dot that the constructor parameter name, that will be get accessible. Okay, now if we hot reload here, that will be giving error because we change at the root of the project, because here when the home is calling, we also change it here. So when the root coding is changed, we have to make the hot restart to take the effect of it. So I make a hot restart here, and here you can see my name is showing, that is passed through the main screen as a optional required parameter. Okay, and that a comma b, it is actually returned from that method. Okay, so we can use in that way. So as the return type is a list of string, we can utilize one of the list method, that is join. And okay, now we have to use another code because single quote and double quote is already used, so we can use the triple quote as well. Okay, and we want to join here using that dashes. Okay, and here I also want to add the text style and the text align, so that it will be looking somewhat good. So I copied it here, and here I paste it here. Okay, now if I come here in the terminal and hot reload it here, you can see it is showing in that way. So we can do one more thing. I can try with my name as well. So my name is somewhat, surname is Dasgupta, and here instead of that dashes, if we give it here a paste and hot reload it here it is showing the Samarpan Dasgupta. So if I change here from that to the YouTube tutorial and we make a hot restart here, as you can see, the YouTube tutorial is a required parameters for that main screen function constructor accepting parameters, and Samarpan Dasgupta, it is returning from that method we declare here at the bottom. Okay, so in that way you can play with the different kind of function and method. So we know about the function and method in Flutter app. There is many more topic just like about the future and different kind of future methods, and there is also a timer, async await, and more things. So when we do a project, even in the next video, first project of the series is coming here, there we will know about different kind of function and method, more depth concept. So you stay tuned for that. The next video of this series is coming very soon. Hope you love this series, hope you love this video. If you love this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. The next video of this series is coming very soon. Have a nice day. Bye.